kids know that monsters?
Because they've got no necks. Isn't that a good enough reason?
Don't they got the neck?
None visible. Their fat little heads are set on their fat little bodies without a bit of connection.
That's too bad.
Yes, it's too bad because you can't wring their necks if they got no necks to wring. Isn't that right, honey? Yes, they are no-neck monsters. Oh, hear them screaming. I don't know where their voice boxes are located since they don't have necks. I tell you, I got so nervous at that table tonight, I thought I would throw back my head and utter a scream you could hear across the Arkansas border and parts of Louisiana and Tennessee. I said to your charming sister-in-law, May, honey, couldn't you feed those precious little things at a separate table with an oilcloth cover? They make such a mess, and the lace cloth looks so pretty. She made enormous eyes at me and said, oh no, on Big Daddy's birthday? Why, he would never forgive me. Well, I want you to know Big Daddy hadn't been at that table 2 minutes for those 5 no-neck monsters slobbering and drooling over the food before he threw down his fork and shouted, for God's sake, dude, well, why don't you put them pigs in a trough in the kitchen? I simply could have died. Think of it, Brink. They've got 5 of them, and number 6 is coming. They brought a whole bunch down here like animals to display at a county fair. They have those children doing tricks all the time. Junior, show Big Daddy how you do this. Show Big Daddy how you do that. Say a little piece for Big Daddy's sister. Show your dimples, sugar. Brother, show Big Daddy how you stand on your head. Goes on all the time, along with constant little remarks and innuendos about the fact that you and I have not produced any children, are totally childless, and therefore totally useless. Of course, it's comical, but it's also disgusting since it's so obvious what they're up to.
What are they up to, Maggie?
Why, you know what they're up to.
No, I don't know what they're up to.
Well, I will tell you what they are up to, boy of mine. They're up to cutting you out of your father's estate. Now we know that Big Daddy is dying of cancer. There's so much light in this room.
Do it?
Do we what?
No Big Daddy down of cancer.
Got the report today. Got the report just now. It didn't surprise me, baby. I recognized the symptoms as soon as we got here last spring, and I'm more than willing to bet that Brother Man and his wife were pretty sure of it too. That more than likely explains why their usual summer migration to the coolness of the Great Smokies was passed up this summer in favor of hustling down here every whip stitch with their whole screaming tribe. And why so many allusions have been made to Rainbow Hill lately. You know what Rainbow Hill is. Place that's famous for treating alcoholics and dope fiends in the movies.
I'm not in the movies.
No, and you don't take dope. Otherwise, you're a perfect candidate for Rainbow Hill, baby. And that's where they aim to ship you, over my dead body. Yes, over my dead body, they will ship you there, but nothing would please them better than Brother Man could get a hold of the purse strings and dole out remittances to us, maybe get power of attorney, sign our checks, and cut off our credit wherever, whenever he wanted, son of a bitch. How would you like that, baby? Well, you've been doing just about everything in your power to bring it about. You've just been doing everything you can think of to aid and abet them in this scheme of theirs. Quitting work, devoting yourself to the occupation of drinking, breaking your ankle last night on the high school athletic field, doing what? Jumping hurdles. At 2 or 3 in the morning, just fantastic. Got in the paper. Clarksdale Register carried a nice little item about a human interest story about a well-known former athlete staging a one-man track meet on the glorious Hill High School athletic field last night, but was slightly out of condition and didn't clear the first hurdle. Brother Man Goodman claims he exercised his influence to keep it from going out of an AP, a UP, or a goddamn P. But Rick, you've still got one big advantage.
You say something, Maggie?
Big Daddy dotes on you, honey. And he can't stand Brother Man and Brother Man's wife, that monster of fertility May. Know how I know? Little expressions that flicker across his face when that woman is holding forth on one of her choice topics, such as how she refused twilight sleep when the twins were delivered, because she feels that motherhood is an experience that a woman ought to experience fully in order to fully appreciate the wonder and beauty of it. And how she made Brother Man come in and stand beside her in the delivery room so he would not miss out on the wonder and beauty of it either, producing those no-neck monsters. Big Daddy shares my attitude toward those two. As for me, well, I give him a laugh now and then, and he tolerates me. In fact, I sometimes suspect Big Daddy harbors a little unconscious lech for me.
What makes you think Big Daddy has a lech for you?
Well, he drops his eyes down my body when I'm talking to him. Drops his eyes right to my boobs and licks his old chops.
That kind of talk is disgusting.
Did anyone ever tell you you're an ass-aching Puritan, Brick? I think it's mighty fine that that old fellow on the doorstep of death still takes in my shape with what I think is deserved appreciation. And you want to know something else? Big Daddy didn't know how many little Mays and Goopers had been produced. How many kids have you got? He asked at the table, like Brother Man and his wife were new acquaintances to him. Big Mama said he was joking, but that old boy wasn't joking, Lord, no. And when they informed him that they had 5 already and were turning out number 6, the news seemed to come as a sort of unpleasant surprise. Scream, monsters! Yes, you should have been at that supper table, baby. No, Big Daddy, bless his old sweet soul, he is the dearest old thing in the world, but he does hunch over his food as if he preferred not to notice anything else. Well, May and Gilbert was side by side at the table, directly across from Big Daddy, watching his face like hawks while they jawed and jabbered about the cuteness and brilliance of the no-neck monsters. And the no-neck monsters were ranged around the table, some in high chairs, some on the books of knowledge, all in fancy little paper caps in honor of Big Daddy's birthday, and all through dinner. Well, I want you to know, Brother Man and his wife never once for one moment stopped exchanging pokes and pinches and kicks and signs and signals. They were like a couple of card shots for lacing a sucker. Even Big Mama, bless her old sweet soul, she isn't the quickest and brightest thing in the world. She finally noticed at last and said to Gilbert, Gilbert, why are you and May making all these signs at each other about? I swear to goodness I nearly choked on my chicken. You know, your brother Cooper still cherishes the illusion he took a giant step up on the social ladder when he married Miss May Flynn of the Memphis Flynn's. But I have a piece of Spanish news for Cooper. The Flynns never had a thing in this world but money, and they lost that. They were nothing at all but fairly successful climbers. Of course, May Flynn came out in Memphis 8 years before I made my debut in Nashville, but I had friends at Ward Belmont that came from Memphis, and they used to come see me, and I used to go see them at Christmas and spring vacation, so I know who rates and who doesn't rate in Memphis society. Well, you know, Papa Flynn barely escaped doing time in the federal pen for shady manipulations on the stock market when his chain stores crashed. And as for May, having been a cotton carnival queen, as they remind us so often lest we forget, well, that is one honor I don't envy her for. Sit on a brass throne on a tacky float riding down Main Street, Smiling, bowing, blowing kisses to all the trash on the street. Why, year before last, when Susan McFeeters was singled out for that honor, you know what happened to her? You know what happened to poor little Susan McFeeters?
So what happened to poor little Susie McFeeters?
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
Somebody spit tobacco juice in her face.
That's right. Some old drunk leaned out a window at the Hotel Gaioso and shouted, "Hey, Queen! Hey there, Queenie!" Poor Susie looked up and flashed him a radiant smile, and he shot out a squirt of tobacco juice right in poor Susie's face.
What do you know about that?
What do I know about it? I was there. I saw it.
Must have been kind of funny.
Susie didn't think so. Had hysterics. Screamed like a banshee. They had to stop the parade, remove her from her throne, go on to the... Why have you look at me like that?
Like what, Maggie?
The way you were looking at me just now before I caught your eye in the mirror and you started to whistle, I don't know how to describe it, but it froze my blood. I've got you looking at me like that so often lately. What are you thinking of when you look at me like that?
I wasn't conscious of looking at you, Maggie.
Well, I was conscious of it. What were you thinking?
I don't remember thinking of anything, Maggie.
Don't you think I know that? Don't you think I
So
know
what,
that
Maggie?
I have gone through this hideous transformation? Become hard, frantic, cruel. That's what you've been observing in me lately. How could you help but observe it? It's all right, I'm not thin-skinned anymore. Can't afford to be thin-skinned anymore. But Britt,
You say something?
I was going to say something. That I get lonely. Very.
Everybody gets that way,
Living with
Maggie.
someone you love can be lonelier than living entirely alone. If a person you love doesn't love
Would you like to live alone, Maggie?
No. God! I wouldn't. Did you have a nice shower?
Mm-hmm.
Was the water cool?
Nope.
But it made you feel fresh, huh?
Fresher?
I know something will make you feel much fresher.
What's that, Maggie?
An alcohol rub. Oh, cologne. A rub with
It's
cologne.
good for after a workout, but I haven't been working out.
You kept in good shape, though.
You think so, Maggie?
I always thought drinking men lost their looks, but I was a plain mistake.
Why, thanks, Maggie.
You're the only drinking man I know that never seems to put any fat on.
I'm getting softer.
Well, sooner or later, it was bound to soften you up. It was just beginning to soften up Skip on me. Sorry. I never could keep my fingers off a sore. I wish that you would lose your looks. If you did, it would make the martyrdom of Saint Maggie a little bit more bearable. You're such a goddamn luck. I actually believe you got better looking since you've gone on the bottle. Yeah, someone who didn't know you would think you've never had a tense nerve in your body or a strained muscle. Of course, you always had that detached quality, as if you were playing a game without much concern over whether you won or lost. Now that you've lost the game. Not lost, just quit playing. You have that rare sort of charm that usually only happens in the very old or the helplessly sick. The charm of the defeated. You look so cool. So cool. So enviably cool. They're playing croquet. The moon has appeared, and it's white, just beginning to turn a little bit wonderful lover. Such a wonderful person to go to bed with. And I think it was mostly because you were really indifferent to it, isn't that right? Never had any anxiety about it, just did it naturally, easily, slowly, with absolute confidence and perfect calm. Or like opening a door for a lady, or seating her at a table, and giving expression to any longing for her. Your indifference made you wonderful at lovemaking. Strange. But true. You know, if I thought you would never make love to me again, I would go downstairs to the kitchen and pick out the longest and sharpest knife I could find and stick it straight in my heart, I swear I would. But one thing I don't have is the charm of the defeated. My hat is still in the ring, and I am determined to win. What is the victory of a cat on a hot tin roof? I wish I knew. Just staying on it, I guess, as long as she can. Later tonight, I am going to tell you that I love you. And maybe by that time, you'll be drunk enough to believe me. Yes, they are playing croquet. Big Daddy is dying of cancer. What were you thinking of when I caught you looking at me like that? Were you thinking of Skipper? Oh, excuse me. Forgive me, but laws of silence don't work. No, laws of silence don't work. When something is festering in your memory or your imagination, laws of silence don't work. It's just like shutting the door and locking it on a house on fire in hopes of forgetting that the house is burning, but not facing the fire doesn't put it out. Silence, by the thing, just magnifies it. It grows. It festers in silence, becomes malignant.
Give me my crutch.
Lean on me.
No, just give me my crutch.
Yeah, lean on my shoulder.
I don't want to lean on your shoulder. I want my crutch. You give me my crutch. I'll get down my knees on the floor.
Here, take it. Take it.
Thanks.
We mustn't scream at each other. The walls in this house have ears. But that's the first time I've heard you raise your voice in a long time, Rick. A crack in the wall of composure? I think that's a good sign. A sign of nerves and a player on the defensive.
Just hasn't happened yet, Maggie.
What?
The click I get when I've had enough of this stuff to make me peaceful. Do me a favor?
Maybe I will. What favor?
Just keep your voice down.
I'll do you that favor. I'll speak in a whisper, if not shut up completely, if you will do me a favor and make that drink your last one until after the party.
What party?
Big Daddy's birthday party.
Is this Big Daddy's birthday?
You know this is Big Daddy's birthday.
No, I don't. I forgot it.
Well, I remembered it for you.
Good for you, Maggie.
You just have to scribble a few lines on this card.
You scribble something, Maggie?
It's got to be your handwriting. It's your present. I've given him my present. It's got to be your
I
handwriting.
didn't get him a present.
Well, I got one for you.
All right, you write the card then.
And heaven know you didn't remember his
I
birthday.
didn't remember his
You don't
birthday.
have to
I
prove
don't
you
want
did
to
just
fool
my
him
love,
about it.
Rick.
No!
You've got to.
I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to. You keep forgetting the conditions on which I'm going to stay on living with you.
I'm not living with you. We occupy the same cage.
You've got to remember the conditions.
Yeah, impossible.
Why don't you?
Oh, my God. Who's there? Is somebody at the door?
May I enter a moment?
Oh, you. Sure. Come in, May.
Rick, is this thing you're supposed
children attracted to weapons ought to be taught to keep their hands off things that don't belong to them.
Oh, Maggie, honey, if you had children of your own, you know how funny that is. Will you lock this thing up and put the K out of great
Sister woman, nobody is plotting the destruction of your kitties. Rick and I still have our special archer's license. We're going deer hunting on Moon Lake soon as the season starts. I love to run with dogs through chilly woods. Run, leap over.
Get it, son.
Oh,
no. Stop that. How's the injured ankle, Rick?
Doesn't hurt, just itches.
Oh, my. Rick, you should have been downstairs after supper. Well, Kitty's put on a show. Polly played the piano, Buster and Sonny drums, and then they turned the lights off and Trixie and Dixie performed a toe dance, and their costume was spotless. Big Daddy just begged. Well, you know, he just begged, so.
It breaks my heart that we missed it. But, May, why did you give dogs names to all your kitties?
Dogs' names.
Dixie, Trixie, Buster, Sonny, Polly. Sounds like both dogs and a parrot.
Maggie, why you so catty?
Because I'm a cat.
Oh.
Well, why can't you take a joke, sister woman?
Oh, nothing pleases me more than a joke that's funny. Real names by kitties. Buster's real name is Robert. Sonny's real name is Saunders. Trixie's real name is Molly. And Dixie's real name is...
Sister woman, intermission is over.
Oh, the mission's over. See you later.
I wonder what Dixie's real name is.
This caddy doesn't help things in it.
I know. Why am I so catty? Because I'm consumed with envy and eaten up with longing. Rick, I'm going to lay out your beautiful Shanghai silk suit from Rome and one of your monogrammed silk shirts. I'll put the cufflinks in. Those lovely star sapphires I get you to wear so rarely.
I can't get trousers on over this plastic ass.
Yes, you can. I'll help you.
I'm not going to get dressed, Maggie.
Will you just put on a pair of white silk pajamas?
Yes, I'll do that, Maggie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Don't mention.
Break. How long does it have to go on? This punishment. Haven't I done time enough? Haven't I served my turn? Can't I apply for a pardon?
You're spoiling my liquor. Lately, your voice so it sounds like you've been running upstairs to warn someone the house is on fire.
Well, no wonder. No wonder. You know what I feel like, Rick. I feel all the time like a cat on a hot tin rug.
Then jump off the rug. Jump off it. Cats can jump off ropes and land on their 4 feet uninjured.
Oh, yes.
Do it, for God's sakes, do it.
Do what?
Take a lover.
I can't see a man but you. Even with my eyes closed, I just see you. Why don't you get ugly, Brick? Why don't you please get fat or ugly or something so I can stand it? The concert is still going on. Bravo, Mildex! Bravo!
Lock the door for.
Give us a little privacy for a while.
You know better, Maggie.
No, I don't know better.
Don't make a fool of
I
yourself.
don't mind making a fool of myself over you.
I feel embarrassed for you.
Feel embarrassed, but don't continue my torture. I
You
can't get over it. I
agree
know,
to
but
accept
I
it.
can't.
Let go. What is it, Big Mama?
We just got the most wonderful news about Big Daddy. I just had to run up and tell you about. What's this doll doing locked for? Y'all think there's rabbles in the house?
Did my mama break his dress and breaks my dress yet?
That's all right. Will be the first time I've seen break my dress. Come on, open this door.
I've noticed you do, Big Mama, but people have got to have some moments of privacy, don't they?
No, ma'am, not in my house. What you took off your dress for? I thought this little lace dress was so sweet on you, huh?
I thought it looked sweet on me too, but one of my cute little table partners used it for napkins.
What?
You know, Big Mama May, you was so touchy about those children, and you just, thanks, Big Mama, you just don't get us a
Jack!
ruined.
Hurry out! Shoot, Maggie, you just don't like children.
I do so like children, adore them. Well brought up.
Well, why don't you have some and bring them up with? Then instead all the time picking on people's and me.
Hey! Hey, Big Mama! Betsy, you gotta go. We can say goodbye.
Tell them to hold the horses. I'll be right down in a jiffy.
Yes, ma'am.
Son, can you hear me in there? We just got a full report from the laboratory at the Oxford Clinic. Completely negative, son. Everything's negative right down the line. Nothing tall's wrong with him, but some little functional thing called a spastic colon. Can you hear me, son?
We can hear you.
Why don't he say something? God almighty, a piece of news like that should make him shout. It made me shout, I can tell you. I shouted and I sobbed and I fell right down on my knees. Look, see the bruises where I hit my knees? Yes, son. Took both doctors to haul me back on my feet. Big Daddy was furious with me. But ain't that wonderful news? After all the anxiety, we're being through to get a report like that on Big Daddy's birthday. Now, Big Daddy tried to hide how much of a load that news took off his mind, but it didn't fool me. He was mighty close to crying about it himself.
Big Mama!
All those people down there, don't let them go! Now, get dressed. We're all coming up to this room for Big Daddy's birthday party because of your ankle. How's his ankle, man?
Oh, well, he broke it, Big Mama.
I know he broke it. I mean, does it hurt him much still?
I'm afraid I can't give you that information. I just break it and hurt too much still.
Miss Polly, it's Memphis. It's Miss Sally in Memphis.
All right, it's okay. Hello, Miss Sally. How are you, Miss Sally? Yes, well, I was just going to call you about it. Shoot. Rick, don't. Miss Sally, don't ever call me from the guy oh so loudly. Too much talk goes on in that hotel lobby. No wonder you can't hear me. Now listen, Miss Sally. There's nothing serious wrong with Big Daddy. We got the report just now. There's nothing wrong but a thing called the spastic colon. Now you come out here and talk to this fool on the phone. I'm short of breath.
Miss Sally? see you real soon. She heard me perfectly. I'm disgusted deaf people. The thing to do is not shout at them, but just enunciate clearly. My rich old Aunt Cornelia was deaf as the dead, but I can make her hear me just by saying each word slowly, distinctly, close to her ear. I read the commercial appeal every night, read the classified ads in it. She never missed a word of it, but was she a mean old thing? Know what I got when she died? Her unexpired subscriptions to 5 magazines, the Book of the Month Club, and a library full of every dull book ever written. All else went to her head of cannabis system, meaning she was even.
Miss Sally sure is a case. Big Daddy says she's always got a hand out for something. But he's not mistaken. That poor old thing always has a hand out for something. I don't think Big Daddy gives her as much as it should.
Big Mama, come on now. Betsy and you can't wait no longer.
I'm coming! Shoot. Stop playing so dumb. I mean, has he been drinking that stuff much yet?
Oh, well, I think he have all that
Don't
stuff.
laugh about it. Some single men stop drinking when they get married, and others stop. And Rick
That's
never.
not fair.
Yeah, not fair. I want to ask you a question. One question. You make Rick happy in bed?
Why don't you ask if he makes
Because
me
I know
happy?
some rules my words. Your child is in my son drinks.
Come on, Big Mama.
When the marriage goes on the rocks are there, right there.
Not fair. Who are you? I am Maggie the cat.
Big Mama gone?
She's gone. You know, our sex life didn't just peter out in the usual way. It was cut off short long before the natural time for it to, and it's going to revive again just as sudden as that. I'm confident of it. That's what I'm keeping myself attractive for the time when you'll see me again like other men see me. Yes, like other men see me. They still see me, Brick, and they like what they see. Some of them would give. Look, Brick. How high my body stays on me. Nothing has fallen on me, not a fraction. Other men still want me. My face looks strained sometimes, but I've kept my figure as well as you've kept yours, and men admire it. I still turn heads on the street. Why, last week in Memphis, everywhere that I went, men's eyes burned holes in my clothes. At the country club, at restaurants, department stores. There wasn't a man I met or walked by that didn't just eat me up with his eyes. Turn around when I walked past and looked back at me. Why, at Alice's party for her New York cousins, the best-looking man in the crowd followed me upstairs, tried to force his way in the powder room with me, followed me to the door, tried to force his way in.
Why, you let him, Maggie.
Because I'm not that common, for one thing. Not that I wasn't almost tempted to. You like to know who it was? It was Sonny Boy Maxwell, that's who.
Oh, Yeah, son of boy Maxwell. He was a good end runner, but had a little injury to his back and had to quit.
Well, he has no injury now and has no wife and still has a lech for me.
I see no reason to lock him out of the powder room in that case.
And have someone catch me at it? I'm not that stupid. Oh, I might sometimes cheat on you with someone since you're so insultingly eager to have me do it, but if I do, you can be damn sure it will be in a place and a time where no one but me and the man could possibly know. Because I'm not going to give you a reason to divorce me for being unfaithful or anything else.
Maggie, I wouldn't divorce you for being unfaithful or anything else. Don't you know that? Hell, I'd be relieved to know you found yourself a lover.
Well, I take no chances. No, I would rather stay on this hot tin roof.
Hot tin roof's an uncomfortable place to stay on.
Yeah, but I can stay on it just as long as I have to.
You could leave, Maggie.
Don't want to and will not. Besides, if I did, you don't have a cent to pay for it but what you get from Big Daddy, and he's dying of cancer.
Big Mama just said he wasn't, that the report was okay.
Well, that's what she thinks, because they gave her the same story they gave him, and she was just as taken in by it as he was. Poor old things. But later tonight, they're going to tell her the truth. When Big Daddy goes to bed, they're going to tell her that he is dying of cancer. It's malignant and it's terminal.
Does Big Daddy know it?
Hell, do they ever know it? Nobody says you're dying. You have to fool them. They have to fool themselves.
Why?
Why? Because human beings dream of life everlasting. That's the reason. But most of them want it on earth and not in heaven. But that's how it is, anyhow. So this is Big Daddy's last birthday. And May and Cuba, they know it all right. They got the first report from the Oxford Clinic. That's why they rushed down here with the 5 no-neck monsters, because, do you know something? Big Daddy's made no will. Big Daddy's never made any will in his life, so this campaign is afoot to impress him forcibly as possible with the fact that you drank and I have borne no children. I am fond of Big Daddy. I am genuinely fond of that old man. I really am. You know
Yes, I know you are.
I always sort of admired him despite his coarseness, his four-letter words and so forth, because Big Daddy is what he is. He makes no bones about it. He hasn't turned gentleman farmer. He's still a Mississippi redneck. Not much of a redneck as he must have been when he was just overseer here on the old Jack Straw and Vito Cello place. But he got hold of it and built it into the biggest and finest plantation in the Delta. I have always liked Big Daddy. Well, this is Big Daddy's last birthday. I'm sorry about it, but I'm facing facts. It takes money to take care of a drinker, and that's the office I've been elected to lately.
You don't have to take care of me.
Yes, I do! 2 people in the same boat have got to take care of each other. At least you want money to buy more Echo Spring when the supply is exhausted. Oh, will you be satisfied with a 10-cent beer? May and Gilbert are planning to freeze us out of Big Daddy's estate because you drink and I am childless. But we can defeat that plan. We are going to defeat that plan. Brick, you know I have been so goddamn disgustingly poor all my life, Brick. That is the truth.
I'm not saying it isn't.
I always had to suck up to relatives I hated because they had money and I was poor as Job's turkey. You don't know what that's like. Well, I will tell you what that's like. It's like you would feel 1,000 miles away from Echo Spring and had to get back to it on that broken ankle without a crutch. That's how it feels to be as poor as Job's turkey and have to suck up to relatives you hate because they had money and all you had was a bunch of old hand-me-down clothes and a few old molded 3% government bonds. My daddy loved his liquor. He fell in love with his liquor the way you've fallen in love with Echo Spring and my poor mama, having to maintain some semblance of social position to keep appearances up on an income of $150 a month on those old government bonds. When I came out, the year I made my debut, I had just 2 evening dresses. One mother made me from a pattern in Vogue. The other was a hand-me-down from a snotty rich cousin I hated. The dress I married you in was my grandmother's wedding gown. So that is why I am like a cat on a hot tin roof.
Hi, Mr. Brick.
You can be young without money, but you can't be old without it. You've got to be old with money, because to be old without it is just too awful. You've got to be one or the other, either young or with money. You can't be old and without it, Rick. That's the truth. Well, I am dressed. All dressed, nothing else for me to do. I'm dressed. All dressed, nothing else. What am I? Oh, my bracelets. I've thought a whole lot about it, and now I know when I made my mistake. Yes, I made my mistake when I told you the truth about that thing with Skipper. Never should have confessed to the fatal error telling you about that thing with Skipper.
Maggie, shut up about Skipper. I mean it, Maggie. You've got to shut up about Skipper.
You ought to understand that Skipper and
You don't
I...
think I'm serious? You fooled by the fact that I'm saying this quiet? Look, Maggie, what you're doing is a dangerous thing to do. You're fooling with something that nobody ought to fool with.
This time I'm going to finish what I have to say to you, Skipper, and I made love it. Love, you could call it, because it made both of us feel a little bit closer to you. You see, you son of a bitch, you ask too much of people. Of me, of him, of all the unlucky goddamn sons of bitches that happened to love you, and there was a whole pack of them. Yes, there was a pack of them besides me and Skipper. You ask too goddamn much of people that love you. Superior creature, you godlike being. So we made love to each other to dream it was you. Oh, yes, truth. Truth, what is so awful about it? I like it. I think the truth. Yeah, I shouldn't have told you.
It was Skipper that told me, not you, Maggie.
I told you.
After he told me.
What does it matter? Who told you?
Little girl, hey, little girl!
What, Uncle Brick?
Tell the folks to come upstairs. Bring everybody up.
It's
I can't stop myself. I would go on telling you this in front of them all if I
Little
had
girl,
to.
go on, do what I told you. Call them.
It's got to be told, and you never let me. It was one of those beautiful, ideal things they tell about in the Greek legends. It couldn't be anything else. You being you, and that is what made it so sad. That's what made it so awful. Because it was love that never could be carried through to anything satisfying or even talked about plainly.
You've got to stop this.
Rick, believe me, you got to believe me, Rick. I do understand all about it. I think it was noble. Can't you tell I am sincere when I say I respect it? My only point, the only point I'm making is that life has got to be allowed to continue even after the dream of life is all over. I remember when we double dated in college. Gladys Fitzgerald and I and you and Skipper. It was more like a date between you and Skipper. Gladys and I were just sort of tagged along as if it was necessary to chaperone you, make a good public impression.
You want me to hit you with this crutch? Don't you know I could kill you with this crutch?
Good Lord, man, you think I care if you
One
did?
man has one great good true thing in his life. One great good thing that is true. I had friendship with Skipper. You are naming it dirty.
I'm not naming it dirty, I'm naming it
Not
great.
love with you, Maggie, but friendship with Skipper was that one great true thing, and you are naming it dirty.
And you haven't been listening and not understood what I'm saying. I am naming it so damn clean that it killed poor Skipper. something that had to be kept on ice, yes. Incorruptible, yes. And death was the only icebox where you could keep
Maggie!